and this one is screw the midlife crisis. We're born, we stay here for a while, and then we die. Fact. Hi, welcome to episode 4 of the Me2.0 show. My name is Hital Thabani, and this one is screw the midlife crisis. Around your mid-40s or early 50s is the trough. It is the bottom of your happiness level. On average, there might be some variation in the age, but there's a lot of science. I've done the research. There's a lot of science that backs it. 130 countries globally, and it's been proven to be the same. Happiness dips around the start of adulthood, and the very bottom point, as the studies have it, is around your mid-40s to early 50s. We can call that a midlife crisis, but two things: I'm going to bust some myths, and secondly, I'm going to give you the power and the tools and the inspiration and the direction to live from your best self at that low point in natural happiness. So let's get some of the nonsense out of the way first. Firstly, only 10 to 20% of people experience this meltdown, this kind of catastrophic going to pieces, which we think of when we talk about midlife crisis. So only a small percentage of people. A lot happens, but that kind of meltdown only happens to 10 to 20% of people. Secondly, is to do with myths and stereotypes. The thing that used to come to mind for me, and I've got to completely dispel this, when it comes to midlife crisis, is an overaged man with not much hair at the seat of his new sports car, and that is his midlife crisis action and his splurge, and the equivalent image for women. Simply not true. Some people do it. However, the happiness trough is there, and what we're going to look at is how it feels, what happens with aging, and what we can do about it to live from our best self, what you can do about it to live from your best self. One of the biggest things we work on, one of the most important things on the Me 2.0 process and the transformation journey, is what's within your control and what isn't. I found it hugely powerful, because if you are spreading yourself, your focus, and making your happiness and well-being dependent on things which are not in your control, you can be led anywhere like the direction of the wind. I invite you, as I have done, is to center yourself in your position of power, which is in the things that you can control. Because if you can control something, if you can impact and influence it, that is when you are in control. And that is what's going to serve you. Otherwise, you're left to random. So the first tip is to focus on what's within your control and what isn't. But that starts by discerning and differentiating. Step back, having that discernment, say, right, is this in my control or isn't it? I invite you to think about that. Review and come back to this and share it with people so that you talk about this. Start to focus on what's within your control. It will start to make an impact, I hope, as it has for me, and it will transform you. Your language is powerful. Your thoughts and your language and your beliefs are all tied together. They shape your life. So be aware of that. The first thing with any change process, with this Me 2.0 or any growth process, is awareness and self-awareness. So become aware and self-aware of your words and your thought process and your language. It's all within your control or influence. So think about that. Here are some alternatives to saying I'm getting old. You can say you're maturing like a fine wine. Or you could say, as time passes, or as I've gone through, here's what I've learned, or here's what I've found. And your third option is a more playful and fun one, and it's to say you're getting old disgracefully. Absolutely nothing wrong with pulling that out. I love doing it occasionally too. So within your control. I've just shown you how you can either say you're getting old, or you can say something else, and you can think you're getting old, or you can think something else. Within your control. So much is within your control that you don't think is. I invite you to consider that one thought. Find more of what's within your control, influence, and power. There is so much good that comes with age, a wisdom and a knowledge that only time and having had experiences and reflecting on them and growing with them will give you. And linked to that, for me, life gets richer with age. It's almost like entering worlds and realms that I haven't been in before. Like people who game enter a room or a world that they haven't been in before. But it's much more than that. It's much richer than that. It's like a fine wine you've never had before, or a type of food that you just haven't tasted before, and it's amazing. That's what it feels like for me. And look at the things that you can experience and enjoy. Find them. And if you don't think that way, you're missing out. Time is passing. You are missing out on some of the beautiful richness that life is offering you, should you choose to see it and value it. The other big plus is emotional regulation. Now, I'm not saying we all have inner zen and calmness as we get older, but what happens is we've been through more. We've been through stuff, ups and downs, highs and lows. That means that we don't react so emotionally to things which would have freaked us out before. And that comes with time, and that's linked to the wisdom and experience. So there's a lot of good things that come with the passing of the years. We're born, we stay here for a while, and then we die. Fact. Again, let's look at what's within our control and what isn't. Not a pleasant subject, but I believe when we appreciate death, when we accept the guarantee of it, death and taxation, right? Certainties. It's guaranteed. If you consider that, for me, that helps me live life. Yeah, live in the present. Remember, our time is not fixed. It's not guaranteed. We don't come here with that guarantee. Don't live like you do. I try and remind myself that. Back to living in the present, okay? So remember that. Like the setting of the sun and the rising of it and the coming and going of the seasons, time passing is out of our control. What comes with that is we lose people, we lose loved ones. For me, that's one of the most painful things in life, and you will probably have experienced it as well. And if it's recent or if it's very recent, I'm sending you healing, and I hope you can recover and get through this, as only time and healing can let you. It's part of life. It's horrible to look around and see gaps where our loved ones used to be. They're voids, and it's tough, but it's inevitable. And sadly, we'll be one of those too. But back to living for today. We don't have forever. Let's get on this. Let's relish life, and let's enjoy the now. The other thing I invite you to do is to live with youthfulness and joy. You're never too old to have fun, to behave a bit childishly. You know, you might have to be serious at work and have a protocol in certain situations, but not always. You will feel more energetic. It gets feel-good chemicals going inside you, and it's infectious. You will light up the room. Give yourself permission to be a bit more playful and youthful. Spend more time around kids if you have grandchildren maybe, or nieces, nephews, or if your children are young. Play with them. They will get older, and so will you. Grab this while you can. It will do you good to play with and live from your inner child. Age can be a number if we let it. Some things change about us. Our body does age, and doesn't work as well generally as it did when it was younger, but some people do manage to buck the trend for periods, and that is within their control. Your health and well-being are within your control. Some things aren't. Some people are very unfortunate. Some people have genetic things which hold them back. Other than that, you have control over your health and well-being with your choices, with your beliefs and your lifestyle. Time will pass, but you don't have to wither and wilt physically or in your attitude because of that. I invite you to think about that. Share this message. Share it with others. Thank you. Don't let that number define you. It doesn't have to. Society may tell you that, convention may tell you that, but it's your life. You live it for today. You live it for you and for your loved ones. And the best you is an alive and a youthful you. I'm going to leave you with a quote from a very, very dear mentor. I didn't have the blessing of meeting her. It's Louise Hay. And she said, there are ancient 20-year-olds and there are youthful 90-year-olds. The choice is yours. What are you going to be? If this has landed with you, look at enoughstress.com and start to reverse some of these things that you've got around age. You do not have to get old before your time. You don't have to get old anywhere near your time. It's up to you. It's your choice. You have the power and decision-making power. Start the process with the process of creating your transformation X-ray. I've currently made that free. I've put a lot into it, and it's the start of the transformation I help people and serve people to get to on the Transformation Warrior weekend, where we work on yourself. You get inside it and you start to actually make some changes and form some habits which you take away and form into the best version of yourself. Jump on enoughstress.com, do that activity, do that course first. You can then be prepared and ready for the Transformation Warrior. The first event is soon as I film this. I'm really excited to be putting it together, and future events will be in some of the most amazing places in the world. I can't wait to get to these places, to work with people in different cultures, to meet you and to serve you, hear your story, and to get you going to a different place, a place that you deserve and a place that your loved ones deserve. And when you're a better version of you, you show up better and life's better. Thank you so much for spending the time. I appreciate your trust and your interest. Share this message, serve other people. Get onto enoughstress.com, start the journey of your best life, and we will work on it together at Transformation Warrior. Thank you.